Test. A very good afternoon to all the listeners who are joining us live for the second round of games between the Houston Stars and Kingsmen 1. There are 4 games going on in parallel at this Prairie View Cricket Complex. This game coming to you live from PV5. The other 3 games are coming from PV1, PV2 and PV6. Houston Stars had won the toss and they had no hesitation in deciding to bat first. Andres Ghosh, their skipper. The 2 batsmen who have walked into the middle are Smith Patel, who missed out in the first game this morning, although the Stars won that game quite convincingly against the Austin Aces. And Smith is joined by Nouman Anwar. Opening the bowling from the Forest end is Ziaul Haq, left arm over. Good shape away from Smith. Smith acknowledges the swing on that delivery. Kingsmen 1 suffered a loss in their first game today against the Raiders. So the tournament is on the line here. And they're going up against a very strong Stars outfit. And a defeat in this game could draw curtains on their campaign. Nouman Anwar. Was back on strike. Hammad Azam, the Kingsmen skipper, had stationed himself at first slip. Now he comes out to a short catching mid-wicket and attacking position. And that's good shape, but it's going slightly too wide there. So umpire Brian Kane signals a wide. The field on the offside is a mid-off inside the circle, a cover, a backward point and a point, and there's a third man who's now being called inside the 30 yards. And the field on the leg side is fine leg is inside the circle, a long on is back on the boundary, and there's a deep square leg. And that's a beautiful delivery by Ziaul Haq. That's a big blow for the Stars. Nouman Anwar is gone in the first over. We'll have to see if that delivery had any kind of shape on it. But it swung late in the air for sure, because Nouman was looking to come on the front foot. Then he saw the length of that delivery and its movement and yorked himself. And Ziaul Haq has struck in the first over. This is a big blow. It should likely be Andres Ghosh joining Smith Patel. In fact, it's Asadullah Pathan who's coming at 1 down. So Andres Goss, who played a very good innings of 60-odd runs in that first game, makes way for Asadullah Khan to bat at number 3. And this is again slightly outside the off stump. And it seemed there's some kind of a confusion. There's a loud appeal. It seemed he was batting outside his crease. And the keeper underarms the ball. And there was a loud appeal. They're appealing for run out. Harmeet Singh is going to be the bowler who's coming on. In fact, it's not Harmeet Singh. We'll get to the name of the bowler who's coming in from the Highway 290 and looks like it's the skipper himself, Hammad Azam. Yeah, it indeed is Hammad, as you can see. So he's going to be taking the ball from the Highway 290 end in the second over of the innings. That's nicely played by Smith Patel. Only a single. Ramiz does the cleanup. The score ticks along to 4. Asadullah Khan Pathan, who's not yet off the mark, is going to take strike to Hammad. And he has overstepped. Umpire Onkar calls it a no ball. So that's going to be a free hit, a welcome free hit for the Stars, who were reeling after the loss of Nauman Anwar in that first over. So Smith Patel is going to take strike on that no ball, and since the strike has turned over, Hammad can change the field. I wonder what the debate is if the umpire has called it no ball. He's not going to overturn that decision. And neither a bowler ever knows if he has not bowled a no ball with surety. You're not looking at the popping crease, you're looking at the batsman. The footmarks in the crease are only a guideline. So he's got to move on. He's got to come and bowl that free hit delivery. And Smith Patel is going to take strike. Long on has dropped to the boundary. Long off is still inside the circle. And there's a deep mid wicket and he gets an edge. And they'll get through for a single. Just tried to go too hard. Lost his timing. Asad Pathan taking strike to Hammad Azam. Asad shuffles to the off stump, was trying to open access to that leg side, but Hammad was anyways drifting way too down the leg side, so the umpire Onkar signals a wide, and he's not going to argue that one. Has to go back to his mark and come back again. Big swing, the ball and the bat. I wonder if the intent of promoting Asad Pathan ahead of Andres Goss is for Asad to really capitalize in these power play overs. He has shown the intent to go down the ground, go big in these first 5-6 overs. Although Hammad Azam with the new ball is not going to be easy to face because he's going to extract some swing like you see on that occasion. Arjun Mahesh, the wicket keeper. Beautiful movement as we look at this replay. Nice and tall, wide finger grip. Just pitches on the fourth stump line and kept going. And Asad Pathan totally opened up by that delivery. And this one was just in that arc where he's been looking. Ramiz might have had a chance if he was faster off the blocks. But that ball had so much venom on it, the way Asad Pathan struck that ball. It was always going over the fence. A flat six. Beautifully picked off his pads. Ramiz, mind you, was about 15 to 20 feet inside the boundary, and he was running diagonally. If he was all the way back on the fence, he may have had a chance. So 10 runs off this over so far. One more ball to go. This one looks to be angling down the leg side and also a bit too high. So a muted appeal from Hammad brings that over to a close. As we look at this replay again. Back of length. It's a new hard ball, so it's always bouncing over the stumps. Hits him somewhere on the thigh close to that Prairie View logo. That brings the second over to a close. At the end of 2, it's 14 for 1. Ziaul Haq is going to continue from the forest end to Smith Patel, and that's beautifully played off his pads by Smith. The fielder gives it a chase, and it's going to be an easy couple of runs. So to my surprise and a correction that's due is the reason Andres Goss is not batting at number 3 is because he's not playing this game. Scored 70 odd runs in that first game and he's been rested. Given that the Stars have gotten off to the mark with a win. Zia continuing to Smith, and this is beautifully played. Harmeet Singh at long on. Underarms it back. Just a single. Smith is looking ominous. He's looking in good form. And that's been called a no ball. I think it's a waist-high full toss. We'll see if we can get the replay. Now it's Milind who's arguing. Earlier it was Hammad. The umpires are having a tough time keeping a lid on the situation. So, free hit for height as we look at this delivery. In fact, that's Hammad Azam, that's the previous over. So Asadullah Pathan is going to take strike to Ziaul Haq on a free hit, and the field can change because the batsman crossed over. So the two fielders out are long on, and what seemed like a deep mid wicket. In fact, Hammad Azam is dropping to deep mid wicket. Harmeet Singh is coming in too long on, too mid on. Yeah, that's definitely a no ball, way above his waist height. And this one is going to be another wide. So the free hit stays.
Wide ball.
And in fact, there's just too much happening, too much action to absorb. It's a wide ball over the head of the batsman. The keeper fails to collect it cleanly. And it goes for byes, so it's 5 wides. And the free hit still stays. So Ziaul Haq has to come back and re-bowl that delivery. And this is hit straight down the ground, but mid-off, Milind is going to stop them. So dot ball. Ziaul Haq, who got drafted with the Texas Super Kings in that first season of the Major League, put in a couple of substantial performances, and this one just doing too much in the air. Ends down the leg side. The young wicket keeper is having to do a lot of work behind the stumps. Arjun Mahesh. They're also playing Huzaifa Ahmed, who's a left arm quick. I wonder if he's going to be coming on anytime soon, given Zia hasn't had great success in this first couple of overs. He did pick up the wicket of Nauman Anwar, but besides that, he's been wayward to say the least. Inside edge onto the pads. Asad wanted a single. It's not to be had. There's only been 4 deliveries in this over. It's been going on for 8 minutes now. We're only in the third over of the innings. That's better from Zia. Nice line and length. Doing just a little bit of the seam that brings that over to a close. But did it. Our scores are showing 5 deliveries in the over. They'll have to update that. Nevertheless, at the end of 3, it's 26. Hammad Azam is continuing from the highway end, bowling to Smith Patel, who's batting on 6 runs of 11 deliveries. Pretty warm afternoon, 85 degrees, the sun is beating down, slightly humid. These athletes don't mind this weather, given most of the cricket in Houston is played in 3-figure temperatures in excess of 100. He's lost his run up there, Hammad.
Dead ball.
We're having some fun with these graphics we recorded a couple of years ago with the local Houston umpires. Adds an extra flavor, extra spice to the stream. Hammad to Smith. And that's nicely played, very compact looking is Smith Patel. Can he be explosive at the same time? That's the question. One of the prettiest looking players to the eye when he's batting in the middle. Very balanced at the crease, very measured. This lineup also had the likes of Unumuk Chand, who couldn't make the squad, but Unumuk and Smith goes over mid-wicket, just as I was saying. Can he be explosive while looking just as pretty? And he proves the point. Beautiful pull shot, although that was a nothing delivery from Hammad. Just half tracker, asking to be hit. And Smith Patel accepts the offer. So the score moves along to 32. There you see, it doesn't even rise. It's that kind of length which Smith and any batsman would love at this stage of the innings. And this one again is over pitch. Does he make good connection? It goes up in the air and it's gonna sail for a 4. Not really. The fielder Milind gives it a good chase. Milind thought he was in play for just a little bit. Smith is looking good. He's been able to get a feeler of this wicket, use some deliveries to get his eye in, owing to those extras which kept the scoreboard ticking. So there has been no scoreboard pressure. They're going at almost 9 runs and over. And that's a nick. He was stepping down the track, looking to take him towards the onside. Was opened up, and luckily there was no slip or gully, so it just rolls to third man. Yeah, he was stepping down, was just looking to turn it to the leg side. In fact, it took a pretty thick edge. It was nowhere near the slip cordon, was always going in that third man region. So that brings the over to a close. 35 for now. Just as I was saying in that last over of Zia, they also have another left arm quick in the form of Huzaifa Ahmed. And he's been brought in from the forest end. One of the finest run-ups you'll see on a bowler. Runs in from almost the edge of 30 yards. Very smooth gather. Good action, good follow through. This remains to be seen if he can hit the block running and get his line and length right. And while it's only 4 overs old, this ball might offer some movement. His natural swing is going to be into the pads of Smith. Just like that. And that's very nicely played. A little wayward start for Huzaifa. And they're going to get back for a couple of runs. That's been an Achilles heel for somebody like Huzaifa, who's always also played minor league cricket for the Houston Hurricanes on this very ground. He often tends to drift a little bit into the pads of the batsman and then tries to overcompensate by giving them width. If he can just hover around that fourth stump line, he's going to be lethal in these conditions. And this is played inside out, sliced off the bat and just goes over point for 4, so not a good start for Huzaifa. 6 runs off his first 2 deliveries. A beautiful inside-out shot from Smith. Similar line and length this time. He stays back, gets tall, and just pushes it wide of mid-off, to the left of mid-off for a single. So that's going to bring Asad Pathan on strike. And was trying a slower ball. It obviously didn't come out right the way he wanted it to. So wide. Now Asad Pathan has definitely shown a lot of positive intent. I won't be surprised if he's looking to whip him through mid-wicket cow corner. Width on that occasion. Just as I was saying, he tends to drift down the pads and then overcompensates with width. And with third man point inside the circle, that's easy pickings for Asad.
That's the boundary.
It's been a pretty expensive over. 12 runs. Still 2 more deliveries to go. Can they make this a very big over? Make it a 16 or 20 run over. Huzaifa to Asad. That's better line and length. That's where he needs to be. If he can bowl 6 deliveries in an over inside the power play right there, he's going to be worth his weight in gold to the Kingsmen. Just back of length, angling it across. Off stump, just outside. Long on and deep mid-wicket on the boundary. The 2 fielders outside. And fine leg is inside the circle and he drifts down the pads again. Huzefa, that's an expensive over. 16 off it. At the end of 5, the Stars are 51 for 1 as we look at this replay. I've been saying that he has a tendency for that ball to even just start around the pads and keep going. With fine leg inside the circle, you cannot afford to drift onto the pads. That was the most expensive over of the inning, 16 off it. At the end of 5, 51. Hassan Khan, bowling change has been made. He also played for the Kingsmen minor league franchise based out of Chicago. Miserly customer, and he doesn't back off to bowl within the batting power play. Asad on strike. And he gets inside the line to expose that gap. And it's beautifully swept for 4 runs. Improvisation of the highest order. Although it's a conventional sweep. But the way he created that gap by stepping outside, it's a risky shot. If he misses, he's going to be plumb in front of the stumps. But he was very confident in his abilities there. Was Asad. So pressure on Hassan. And he does the same, but this time the line of that ball was outside the off stump and Asad had stepped outside anyways. So there was some sharp turn. Pitch is just outside off and kept going. So no harm done, loud appeal. More so to create pressure or doubts in the mind of Asad. And this time he plays a conventional front foot stroke and a direct hit. He was gone. That wasn't the best of calling by these 2 players. It was Asad's call. Hermeet with a single-handed pickup and throw, and if there was a direct hit, Asad would have been a couple of yards short of his crease at least. That's going to bring Smith Patel back on strike. Besides this game, there are 3 other games going on, and they're all live on the Houston Premier League YouTube channel. The other three fixtures going on, I'll come to that after this delivery. And Smith also steps outside, or rather in line with the stumps, and was looking to open access to the leg side. Not successful, and the umpire reckons that since Smith had moved, it's not a white ball. Fair call. And this is nicely played, and that should have been stopped by Hammad at covers, and the fielder Harmeet gives it a chase. In fact, that's not Harmeet, but they'll come back for 3. Half stop by Hammad, it seemed. Took off some sting from that ball. Over number 6 comes to a close. That's the end of batting power play. Stars are going at 10 and over. 60 for 1. The signal from umpire Brian Kane is that the batting power play has concluded, so the fielders can drop beyond that 30-yard circle. They can station more than 2 men outside that 30-yard inner ring. Harmeet Singh comes into the attack. Harmeet Singh, fresh off his exploits with the USA national team, made his international debut against Canada in the recently concluded series on this very field you're looking at right now on your screens. Man of the series, bucket load of wickets, and lots of useful runs in the middle to lower order. A dream T20 player, if you ask me. Can contribute in the field with the bat, with the ball. An out-and-out team man is Harmeet. That's nicely played. They would be looking to get back for a second, but the fielder at long on is lightning quick. So just a single, and not just in those 3 departments, the batting, bowling and fielding, but Harmeet has been coaching a lot of kids in the local Houston cricket circle and has been helping out grow cricket in this region and helped me distribute the clothing to 6 of the teams and umpires yesterday. So he's everywhere these days. Harmeet Singh, number 7. Retained by the Seattle Orcas in the Major League. Under 19 World Cup winning player, and that's beautifully driven. Class from Smith Patel straight down the ground. Harmeet is on the floor. Such was that stroke. Teammates, in fact, Smith Patel and Harmeet from that batch, the class of 2012. The India under 19 World Cup winning team. That's just beautiful. In cricket, if you have the ability as a batsman to get to the pitch of the ball and drive a spinner down the ground all along the turf, you, sir, have some talent. And that's Smith Patel for you. That brings over number 7 to a close at the end of 7. Stars are 68 for 1. So Hassan is going to continue from the Highway 290 end. Asad, he's settled in. He was a little fidget when he first came to the crease, was looking to move along, improvise, but now he's settled into a good rhythm, and this partnership is looking dangerous with every passing delivery. And so is Smith. Beautiful stroke. He's just looking so good against the spinners. One of the finest players in the circuit going around today when it comes to playing the spinners on a turf wicket. That requires a lot of talent, some good footwork, reading the flight of the deliveries, and it's a masterclass on display if you watch Smith bat right now, the way he's facing these two spinners. Asad, on the other hand, chooses to stay in the crease, watches the ball come out off the hand of the bowler and off the pitch. A very different approach to somebody like Smith, who wants to play the spinners on the up, read the flight, get to the pitch of the ball. But if they pull their length back, then he's going to stay in the crease and use that length to his favor. Two different schools of playing spinners, just like you see there, a big stride into that delivery from Smith. Houston Stars with the likes of Smith Patel, Asad Pathan, Andres Goss, Noman Anwar, Nosh Kenjige. It's a power-packed lineup. One of the strongest lineups on paper, if you ask me, in this year's Houston Premier League. And Harmeet will have a word or two to say to his former teammate. That brings over number 8 to a conclusion. It's 71 for 1 after 8. From a trip down memory lane to the yesteryears of the Houston Premier League to what's happening right now. Harmeet bowling to Asad Pathan. Nudge towards short fine for a single. Asad moves on to 26. In fact, it's a leg bye. That's a signal by umpire Brian Kane. The helmet has come off, with two spinners bowling in tandem. And that's nicely played by Smith. Again, nice use of the wrists. The field has opened up. There are only 4 fielders inside the circle, the 30-yard circle, that is. Short third man, a backward point, a cover, and a short fine leg. And Asad, just as I was saying, he seems to have settled into a good rhythm. Stepped out ever so slightly, a little too early for somebody like Harmeet to read him and pull the length back and fire it in quick. There, that little trigger movement gave it away, and Harmeet is so smart at reading the batsman, delays the delivery and fires it into the pitch, and Asad is stumped. And that's going to give a lot of confidence to young Arjun Mahesh, who had a tough time with the new ball, keeping to the likes of Zia ul Haq and Hammad Azam. But that's it. And with that, it seems the new batsman walking out to the middle is... We'll try to get you his name real quick. I think it should be Obus Pinar, going by the tall stature. number 12 Pinar. So he's a handy batsman coming in at this stage of the innings. Somebody who can settle into a good rhythm but also bring out the long handle. And they're going to need that, the Stars, given that they've been going at just about 9-ish and over. Had a quiet last over and now they've lost a wicket. So these are the moments which you need to snatch back from the grasp of the opposition. They cannot let the Kingsmen spinners dictate terms at this stage of the game and crawl their way back in. Need to keep that run rate close to that 9 run and over mark. We saw in that first game this is definitely a 180 pitch. Hermeet to Obus. Nicely played right behind that one. Nicely driven back to Hermeet. He's very good at capturing these moments. He's picked up a wicket, he's got his tail up, he's building the pressure, and that one he won't be too happy with it. Just drifted down the pads and gives him an easy single. That gets Obus off the mark. 9 overs gone. The Kingsmen are pulling things slightly back. 74 for 2. There's so many good memories with the Houston Premier League over the years. Has been a celebration of cricket for the last decade or so. In its edition 9 now. Was first started in 2011. Has gone strength to strength with every passing edition. Live now, Hassan is going to continue with his third over, and that's beautifully driven by Obus. 2 wide-ish long off. And that was a slightly slowish delivery. Waited on it, did Smith, and plays it to cover region for a single. Arjun Mahesh, he's very young and there's a little dynamo behind the stumps. Again, a little bit of width, and there's that sweeper cover back there. So a single. I remember Arjun taking his very first Houston Premier League. He showed up a couple of seasons ago and took one of the most stunning catches we've seen in the history of this tournament. Airborne, running back, diving full stretch. He's an exciting player. And that's a good delivery. The arm ball, it never turned. Smith was looking for it to turn, but just went on with the arm, and it was just about hovering close to that off stump. And this one slightly more flighted. He got the under edge. That saved him. Half-hearted appeal. The variations of Hassan playing on Smith's mind. The faster arm ball, and this one, it seemed. Hermeet to continue from the forest end. The left arm spin twins have really pulled this game back. 6 overs, like I said before that little break. The Stars were 60 for 1, and only 18 runs have come in the last 25 deliveries. Even Smith, who was starting to cut loose, has been tied since the spinners came on. The boundaries have dried up. And Smith, I was gonna say that he will have to release the pressure, and I wondered if a big shot was coming, and that was it. Beautifully measured up by Smith. There was no risk because he was always looking to go straight down the ground, and so he did. As you see, the ball was nicely tossed up, and Smith knew that long on was quite wide, and he could pick that gap straight down the ground. He went very flat. World Cup winning squad with 2 big sixes in that over. What a competition this is. The previous one was straight down the ground. This one goes towards long on. 2 beautifully executed shots. As you will look at that worm, it dipped from over number 7 to 10, but now it's going to start climbing back up quite around the 9th over mark, and the curve did flatten out just a bit, but with those 2 sixes, it's looking back up again. Smith Patel is approaching his 50. He was well supported by there's 52 deliveries left in this innings, and with 8 wickets in hand, the Stars should be looking to get at least somewhere in the range of 90 to 100 runs. Given it's a true wicket, the ball is coming on pretty nicely. There is still the likes of Shreyan Satish, Justin Dill, Saklan Haider, Noshtus Kenjige, all pretty handy with the bat. Calvin Savage. Even Shobi Khan is capable of delivering some big hits. That's nicely played. And that's the 50 for Smith Patel. 40 deliveries. That's a good steady knock from him. Hammad Azam has brought himself back into the attack. Been slightly expensive his first 2 overs. Drifting onto the pads of Smith. Just a single. He was looking to get down the track. It's almost a game of cat and mouse now. Stars are looking to cut loose, and Kingsmen have that realization in the back of their mind that these batters are looking for boundaries. Somebody's gonna throw a punch very soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this little break. kind of getting the feeling that something's got to give. It's pressure building on these batters. A big shot is about to come, or a wicket in the process. Oberspiener is more than capable of clearing the fence. He's looked steady for 11 of 15, but hasn't really looked to go big. It's almost as if we're going through the notions. The Stars are just waiting before cutting loose, trying to get into that 15 plus over mark with wickets in the bag. 8 wickets to go, so they can be a little more enterprising or adventurous in their approach. I hear it. And that's that boundary ball. They were looking to release the pressure, drop short down the pads. Loud grunt from Milind and so from Ramiz. Was a good over until that point. Only 3 runs were conceded, but he gives a boundary. So after 13, in fact 14, 108 for 2. Ziaul Haq is back in the attack. 2 overs for 15. He's going to be bowling out. Or rather 1 over now and maybe 1 in the death. Shortish delivery, and it's pulled a couple of bounces to the man at deep square. Just a single. .35 deliveries to go in this innings. 109 for 2. Got to look for something in the range of 60 plus, maybe 70, 80, with so many wickets. And that's beautifully driven by Oberspiener. Milind that long off, and Hammad at cover. Can only watch that ball go past them. No one had a chance. That's the class of Oberspiener. He's gonna want to bring a couple more of those shots. Short and wide delivery, and Zia should consider himself very lucky that Obers doesn't make good connection. Here's a replay of that beautiful cover drive. Almost inviting him to juicy half volley outside off stump. Oberspiener was never going to miss out. And this one is wide down the leg side, and is that 5 penalty runs? I wonder if that's the case. Or did the ball just marginally evade the helmet? I wonder if we can get a replay zoomed into that helmet. I think it might have just bounced on top of the helmet or bounced over it. But Zia was struggling in his opening spell with those wides down the leg side, and he continues to do that with a semi-new ball. Very hard to tell from this angle. The umpire reckoned it missed the helmet, so we'll go with that. And that's the shortish delivery, very nicely pulled by Obis. Slight misfield and Obis just took off. And has Zia made... Yeah, Zia collects the ball cleanly. Probably missed whipping the bails, but almost flicked it with the ball in contact with his hand. So that brings the downfall of Obis, and there was no calling between the two batsmen. Obis just turned and started running. Smith Patel never set off. So a total mishap as far as the Stars are concerned. Obis had consumed 19 balls. He was looking to cut loose. And we'll look at this replay. You'll see that Smith never responded to that little misfield and the call from Obis. He just turns, he's blindsided, and he just starts running. He never looked at Smith. And you'll see here that even with the dive, he's not really sliding in. He's way out of the crease as Zia whips the bail. So, unfortunate end to a promising innings from Obis. The new batsman is the left-handed Saklan Haider, former UAE international. He's been playing minor league for the Houston Hurricanes. And he's known for his improvisation skills, little dabs and flicks. As you look at this, the fielder, little fumble, the throw comes in, and just total confusion between the two batsmen. We did not hear any kind of calling. Obis just set off. Smith never said no, just stood in his crease, ball watching. Smith was always looking for a single. He's not even looking to go back. But Obis was already halfway down the pitch. Very unfortunate end to a good innings from Obis. Slightly foolish and nicely flicked off his pads by Smith. Again, yes and no. Just a single. End of the 15. The score is 120 for 3. Last 5 overs to come. Again, confusion. Smith was looking to get back. Saklan wasn't interested. They kind of need to let go of that dismissal of Obis, get their heads together, and move on. There's been a lot of confusion in running in the last couple of deliveries, last 5 minutes or so. And this is hit inside out, but it's going nowhere, just up in the air, and that catch has been completed. Looks like that was Ramiz at mid-off. Saklan Heather saw mid-off inside the circle, so accepted the invitation. And an early demise for Saklan's innings. First delivery he faced and he's been dismissed. They tried to make some room, but almost turned into a check shot. Never really met the ball with a lot of force. Just tried to caress it over mid-off, and that was never going to travel the distance. So that brings Calvin Savage to the crease. He's going to join Smith Patel, who's batting on 57. Milind with the first wicket of this spell for him. We're going to look at that little replay, the confusion that we had with that ball hitting the helmet or not. I thought it might have flicked the helmet. Very hard to tell. It looks like it may have just narrowly missed it. May have resulted in 2 runs. It was eventually 4 wides, but it could have resulted in wide plus 5 penalty runs. So 6 versus 4. Matter of millimeters. Such is this game of cricket. But great work by Hassan and our production team to bring us those replays. And Calvin Savage looking to go big. Gets a lucky boundary, but that wasn't far from the leg stump. Probably missed it by a couple of inches, going by the reactions of the fielders. Let's take a look at that again. Looking for that big slop sweep. Was more acute than I initially thought, but could have so easily dragged it on. So, lucky boundary. Calvin back on strike to Milind. That's nicely driven back to the bowler. He's in the middle of a good spell, is Milind. 18 conceded, 2.5 overs. And that's nicely played for a single. That's going to bring over number 16 to a close. 125, 126 now for 4. We'll be right back. Hammad is going to bowl out. Should be a leg by of the thigh pad. Now the dilemma for Smith is he's batting. So Justin Dill looks like he's the new batsman replacing Smith Patel, who scored 57 of 51 deliveries. Valuable in terms of runs. And that's very nicely driven. for another single. The Kingsmen would not mind singles at this stage. It's the boundaries that would hurt them. A little bit of width. That's been hit too long on for just a single. That's going to bring this over to a close. $131 for 5 at the end of 17. Only 3 overs to go. You see Coach Amir. He's like a football coach, like a soccer coach. Always on the boundary line, hurling instructions at his players. It's a tense moment in the game. It's that kind of a phase where the game is won or lost. And this looks like he's made good connection with that. And it's going the distance. What a shot. Ominous signs for these last 17 deliveries in this innings. Kelvin Savage is more than capable of really denting the Kingsmen bowling attack. And that's a good comeback by Hassan. Goes full into this base of the stumps. And this one, that's well done by Arjun. Cat and mouse. Hassan thought Justin Calvin is looking to make room to go inside out. Followed him. Calvin didn't go. Arjun did and stopped a definite 4 or 5 wides there. Dot ball again. Again, he's going very full. He's not throwing anything in the arc or giving him the kind of length which he could get under after that 6 that was hit on the first ball. Smart bowling by Hassan. He's not going to toss anything up now. Or is he? He might try to throw something at Justin Dill to try and get his wicket. A full toss, that's nicely driven. They should be looking to come back for a second. The fielder was really quick. Pardon me. The fielder was really quick at long off. Kept it down to 1. 13 deliveries to go in this innings. The Stars would be looking to get anything in excess of 20 at the very least. And that's nicely swept, and the fielder at short fine. He would have thought he was in with a chance. Josefa there. But that was very nicely played by Kelvin Savage. We'll look at that replay. He moves across. It's not really a sweep. literally hops to the fourth or fifth stump line to open up that gap, and Huzaifa put in the dive but dived over the ball. So a good over, a 6, a 4, couple of singles. That's the kind of over. That's what the doctor ordered for the Stars at the end of 18. It's 1-4-4 for 5. Back with over number 19. Ziaul Haq is going to be bowling out. Remains to be seen who would be bowling the final over of the innings. Huzaifa only bowled 1 over. Short of length, and this is nicely pulled on the bounce to the fielder at deep square for a single. Hammad Azam has bowled out. Harmeet has 1 over, so it should be Harmeet bowling the final over. I don't see Hammad going to Huzaifa, who was expensive in that only over he bowled, went for 16. Tries the slower one and nicely disguised. Dot ball. Nicely driven. It's just gonna be a single, nice single-handed pickup and throw by Hammad Azam, the skipper at covers. This is nicely hit too long on. Is only going to be a single. This has been a really good over. Slight misfield, and they're going to come back for a second. Zia is not happy with him. Neither is the skipper. But they'll take that. 3 singles, a double, and a dot ball in the penultimate over of the innings. You will take that any day. Kelvin Savage. Can he bring out the long handle again? Very well bowled by Ziaul Haq. I've seen Zia tear through the Houston Hurricanes batting lineup on this very ground, on this very pitch in the minor league. He's bowled out his 4 overs, 33 for 1. And now we have to see who's bowling the final over of the innings. Whether it's Harmeet, it is Harmeet. So whether this was calculated by Hammad or the dice fell this way, it's going to be spin bowling the final over of the innings. I think Harmeet will take pride in being a bowler who can bowl within the power play or at death. He's up against it with Kelvin Savage, who's looked pretty good in the short stay, 23 of 15. Has delivered a couple of decent meaty blows. Anything 10 plus is at the very least what the Stars are looking at. And this is nicely hit inside out. Just for a single to sweep a cover. The ball was swerving in the air, so the fielder at sweeper cover did very well to keep it down to just a single. That's going to bring Justin Dill on strike. And hit down the ground. Long off comes across and they'll keep it down to 2. It was hit very straight, but it didn't have a lot of venom into it. Was hit with the toe end of the bat, so long off could get around. And this one is nicely hit, but straight to deep mid wicket. Again a single. They've dried out the boundaries, have the Kingsmen, barring that 1-6 that was hit by Kelvin Savage. There haven't been a lot of fireworks in these last few overs. Zia-ul-Haq bowled a quiet over. Now Harmeet has done well in the first 3 deliveries in this over. Kelvin is back on strike. And this time he's going to get a boundary. Gets it inside out, was given some room by Harmeet. To the right of Hammad at cover. And that's a much needed boundary. The score moves on to 158. Final 2 deliveries of the innings coming up. It's 87 degrees. The sun is belting down. It's not going to be an easy chase. Width again, and this time he's hit a 2 cover. They'll look to come back for a second. The throw is good. Arjun Mahesh gets the throw on the bad bounce. And they're able to come back for a second. So 160 is up. That's a mental tick mark. 160 might have been just about par. Earlier I said 180 might be par. It's been pretty hot. The sun has been beating down. The spinners have come into play and slowed down the momentum in this innings, and the Stars are going to take a lesson out of that script when they come out to bowl to defend. So maybe, just maybe, this is a good score. Only time will tell, but can Kelvin hit a big one on this last delivery? Harmeet to Kelvin. It's going to be a wide. In fact, it's not. He targets the wide line and gets it just inside. Harmeet Singh, cheeky, finishes his spell with 35 runs and a wicket. And we look at that batting scorecard. Nauman Anwar was dismissed early. Smith Patel dropped the anchor, batted for 57 of 51. He was well supported by Asad Pathan for 25 and then Obus Pinar for 21. Saklan came and went, but then Kelvin Savage with the finishing touches to get this innings afloat. 160 is the total with the Stars. And Kingsmen, Zia-ul-Haq was decent with the new ball, a little wayward, gave away some extras. He was well supported by Hammad. Huzaifa was expensive in the lone over he bowled, but the spin twins, Hassan and Harmeet, they were very, very good with the ball during the middle overs, and they were well supported by Milind Kumar, who took the wicket of Saklan. So the innings has come to a close. The Kingsmen, when they come out to bat, they're going to need 161 of 20 overs. As you see that a happy Kingsmen camp making their way off the field from PV5. The two Kingsmen opening batters have walked out to the middle. Justin Dill has the new ball. 161 is the target. Kingsmen are still looking for a win. His delivery works it off his hips. Gets the single and he gets off the mark. That's going to bring Saad Ali on strike. Left-handed batter. Played for Pakistan. Fluent opening batsman. Saad Ali has been playing for the Kingsmen in various tournaments across the country. And so is Ramiz. He's been with the Kingsmen since pretty much the inception of the franchise, has captained them in multiple tournaments, has recently passed on the baton of leadership to Hammad Azam for the Kingsmen. One that's nicely angled across the left-hander. Decent pace on that one, gets a single and both batters are off the mark. That's nicely defended by Ramiz Raja. Wild swing by Ramiz. Just misses it, and an underarm throw from Smith. No harm done. Again, back of length. That's a good start by Justin Dill. He's bowled a nice tight over. The likes of Justin Dill, Kelvin Savage, Obus Pinar, Noshtush Kenjige. That's a strong bowling lineup. They're going to make the Kingsmen earn every single run en route to this chase of 161. So they need to get off a good start, do the Kingsmen, in this batting power play. Again, nice tight line and length. Ramiz was just a little late on it, but managed just to get a single at the end of the first over. Kingsmen are 3 for no loss. And that's nicely played by Ramiz. Waited for the ball, plays it very late. Rushil Ugarkar hails from Dallas, young fast bowler. He's been given the new ball ahead of Calvin Savage. That's a big responsibility on those young shoulders of Rushil. He's bowling to a seasoned veteran in the form of Ramiz. That's a nice comeback by Rushil. A little bit of inward movement, tailing into the right-hander off the seam. It's a strong bowling lineup as well, which the Stars possess. And this time Ramiz was looking to get down the pitch and go inside out. But the ball had decent venom on it. Really kicked off a back of length and was rearing up. So Ramiz wasn't able to make the adjustment. Just threw his bat but never made a good connection. Still a little subdued start. The Stars would want to keep it that way, at least in this batting power play. And this one is a leading edge. Third man is trying to get across and he would only watch the ball sail over the fence. A couple of bounces and four. Rushil would not mind that. He has troubled Ramiz, who's just looking to break the shackles. He's picked up 2 boundaries in this over. In not very convincing manner, I must say. Rushil again. And this one, like I said, he wasn't looking very convincing, and that's a big feather on the cap of youngster Rushil. A beautiful delivery. We'll try to get you a replay. It tails in the air, hits the pads, and then ricochets onto the stumps. You look at this replay. Nice load up. There, it starts to tail in, hits the back leg. Even I think if it misses the stumps, the umpire there was going to give him leg before because he was caught in front of the stumps. And the movement of the new ball gets Ramiz Raja. The Kingsmen are on the back foot early in this game. Austin Dill is going to continue. Arjun Mahesh has joined Saad Ali. And this is sliced, takes a thick outside edge, and that's a wonderful fielding effort by, it looked like that's Nosh back there at third man. So I wouldn't be surprised by the kind of commitment there. He's one of the best fielders in the country, if that in fact is Nosh. Nosh Kenjige, that is. A desperate diving effort kept it down to just 2 runs. Justin Dill comes back to Saad Ali. Nicely worked for a single. That's going to bring young Arjun Mahesh on strike. There's still plenty of batting that the Kingsmen possess. There's Milind Kumar, Hammad Azam, Harmeet Singh, Waqas Salim. They would fancy themselves to chase this total down, but a lot is going to rely on now the shoulders of Saad Ali and then Milind Kumar, Hammad Azam. Those 3 would have to step in. And if the youngsters like Arjun can contribute, that's cherry on top of the cake. That's a little too high, although Arjun is not a very tall bloke, but that was still back of length and was always going to go over the top of the stumps. Yeah, definitely high. And down the leg 2. But just the matchups we get to see in tournaments like these. A young under-19 player hailing from Dallas gets to go up against the likes of Justin Dill and Kelvin Savage to come up next. Followed by Nosh. Nice tight delivery, cramped Saad. This is a good start by the Stars. When you're defending a total of 160 on what's a very decent batting wicket, you need to ensure that you get wickets early, and they're none bigger than Ramiz with the new ball. Ramiz is just that kind of batsman who can lay the anchor and steady this chase all the way through to the finishing line. So the onus is on Saad even more since the departure of Ramiz as Justin comes in. That's beautifully played, but it's straight to cover, so a dot ball. That's a good over from Justin Dill at the end of 3. Kingsmen 1 are 15 for 1. No surprises, Rushil is going to continue from that highway 290 end, and he goes for that money ball into the block hole. Arjun Mahesh does very well to get his bat down on time. He has a high back lift, so you could see what Rushil was trying to do. Gets off the mark, Arjun. Slight width from Rushil, but that's good field placement, and they're none better than Obus Pinar. As soon as he made the connection, he would have thought it's going for 4, but Obus was so quick on the fence. Slight overthrow, and they get back for a single. 2 more to Saad. He's growing in confidence. Yeah, beautifully played by Saad, but Obus was lightning quick along the fence as Rushil comes back again. And a shortish delivery, and that's nicely played again by Saad. He's liking the pace coming onto the ball, and another fumble. This is not really what the doctor ordered for the Stars, having made a good start. First thing first, Rushil would want to bowl to Arjun Mahesh, who has just come onto the crease, and on 2 separate occasions, taking nothing away from the effort of Obus Pinar. There was an overthrow and he came back for a second, and on this occasion a slight fumble and another second. So you want to get Saad Ali off the strike and have Rushil bowl at Arjun Mahesh, the youngster. Let the 2 young men battle it out. Saad Ali has different plans. And this is nicely driven by Saad. Mid-off gets across, and it's Justin Dill who safely keeps it down to a single. And that's gonna finally get that mouth-watering contest between Arjun Mahesh and Rushil. Resume. There's a slip. A backward point, a point. I'm seeing that cover is open, and then there's a mid-off. So there's an invitation for Arjun to drive. Come after me, he says. I have a slip. The ball is swinging. There's a strong wind blowing. Here comes Rushil, and that sucker ball outside the off stump and wide. The 5th over resumes with the introduction of Calvin Savage. Such are the likes of the Houston Stars. They'll keep coming at you. Justin Dill goes off the attack, comes Calvin Savage. Nice back of lane delivery. Saad is hopping onto his toes. Calvin is pretty tall, so he likes to hit the deck, and that's exactly what he's going to look to do. Nicely driven by Saad. He likes the look of that. That's the shot of the innings and probably the shot of the day. The way he held his pose. It was pitched up. It was just that perfect length, just around that half volley mark. And that tells you he can trust the pitch. He can go on the up and drive the ball and it just sails over long on for a 6. So ominous signs if you are the Kingsmen. They need someone to see this chase through. They'll need somebody who has the measure of this pitch, who is striking the ball well to stay in the middle. And Saad looks to be that player for them, as this is very nicely played off the back foot. And he's coming back for a second. It could be tied, but Saad was very quick, was always looking for that second. So you like to see how he has taken charge, and especially at the introduction of Calvin Savage. He's sending out the message that you may be a big player in stature, you may have played for the Texas Super Kings last year in the Major League. I'm not gonna let you settle in. That's what Saad is saying. A 6, a couple, 8 runs of the last 2 deliveries. That's better from Calvin. That's just the line and length he needs to hit, especially inside this power play. You cannot afford to pitch anything up, especially now after almost 5 overs are gone. The ball isn't really swinging in the air. Mid-on and mid-off are inside the circle, so anything pitched up, Saad is going to look to go downtown. If it's too short, he's very strong square of the wicket. You just need to be slightly back of length in that corridor of uncertainty in and around that off stump. That's too wide, and that's smashed again. Saad Ali. He has developed a liking for Calvin Savage in this first over, which goes for 12. Thank you, umpire Sadiq Koja. 5 overs gone. 33 for 1 are the Kingsmen. So it seems there's change of ends for Justin Dill. He's now going to come from the Highway 290 end, bowled his first 2 overs from the Forest end. Oh, and that's a big wicket. Very interesting change. I was going to say, being your strike bowler, do you want to keep his 2 overs for the end, or maybe bowl him 1 during the middle of the innings and 1 towards the death? But the skipper chose to bring him on for the 3rd over in this power play. And that ball just climbed too much on Arjun Mahesh. He's not very tall, and he only managed to chop it back onto the stumps. So Arjun is dismissed, and that's going to bring the big fish, the man, the wicket, that probably is going to decide the flow of this game. Milind Kumar, he's going to be joining Saad Ali. This is a partnership. The next couple of overs or so, how these two take off and how well they go towards the rest of this innings, that's going to dictate which way this game is going to go. And that's nicely played by Milind. So he's off the mark with a couple. Justin Dill resuming to Milind. Nice back of length delivery, and that's well played by Milind. Milind has been a long stay in the Houston Premier League. A lot of us remember the 100 he scored in one of the championship finals 4 years ago, to clinch the title for the Gladiators. Ever since, he has been representing the Kingsmen. Comes to the United States with big reputation, having amassed runs in first-class circuit in India and the Ranji Trophy, and then going on to play for the Texas Super Kings in the Major League. And recently also made his debut for the USA men's national team. And a mainstay with the Kingsmen. That's nicely driven by Milind to mid-off. Well fielded there by Justin Dill. Justin Dill is bowling. Pardon me, I'm sitting in the distance and the sun is directly beating in my face. There's a lot of glare on my monitor. I can't just tell the faces from where I am. Maybe you all in the comforts of your living rooms see the faces better. And that's a beautiful take, and there's a loud appeal. And umpire Onkar seems to suggest it's off the thigh pad. It was a great take by Smith Patel, diving full stretch and just lifting the ball off the turf. Yeah, definitely off the thigh pad, and so did Signal Saad Ali. So that brings the batting power play to a close in comparison to the Stars, who were 60 for 1. The Kingsmen are 36 for 2 at the end of 6. We're going to be right back. Yeah, definite daylight between bat and ball. The bat is nowhere close to the ball. Definitely off the hip. So great work again from the wizard, Hassan, alongside me. For the first time in the history of the long coveted history, decade-long history of the Houston Premier League, under my supervision, I've handed the broadcasting off to someone I could trust. And it's definitely taken up the level of this tournament a couple of notches. The inclusion of Hassan. All 4 fields have been streamed live today. We've broadcasted 8 games. The score moves on to 37 for 2. Calvin Savage has come back to bowl his second over. He was slightly expensive. He was slightly expensive in his first over. Saad Ali got stuck into him, but he's been shown some trust by the skipper. And this is the widest delivery. Crash to cover point, just a single. Saad moves on to 23. Yeah, you can see how the sun is really beating down in this dugout to where me and Hassan are. The score 38 for 2. They're still needing 123 runs in 13.4 overs. The required rate has now gone up to 9 an over. That's nicely driven, but that's a good stop by Noman Anwar at covers. There's Hammad Azam still in the dugout, another big fish. 81 deliveries to go, 123 to get. It's tilted in favor of the Stars given Nosh Kenjige hasn't come on to bowl yet. His 4 overs are going to be very crucial on this pitch. And it looks like Noman Anwar has gone off the field. Might have done some damage while he attempted to stop that delivery. It's beautifully pulled by Milind Kumar for 4. So again, a shortish delivery. A lot of time for Milind to dispatch it on the leg side. There's only that lone fielder patrolling that boundary. Nicely played off his hips by Milind. If you are the Kingsmen, you want this partnership to take you past 100 in about 13 or so overs, 14 overs maybe, and leave 60 for the last 6 to 7 overs. It's not going to be easy, but they would be helped along the way by bowling like that. Again, down the pads, to the pads of the right-hander, then overcompensating and bowling again on the pads to the left-hander. He's gone for 21 in his 2 overs as Calvin Savage. 7 overs ended. 45 for 2 are the Kingsmen, needing 116 and 13 at almost 9 an over. We'll be right back. There is a change in the bowling.
That's a
Seems like
boundary.
Noman Anwar has come on. He'd briefly gone off the field. He's going to come and bowl his off spin, but Milind Kumar welcomes him, greets him to the crease with a boundary. Shortish delivery, and he was ready to pull it. Milind moves on to 13. Saad is on 24. And again, slightly short, but no harm done. Milind waited for the ball to come on and was looking for that gap between short third and backward point. A nicely tossed delivery. Invitation to go down the ground, so he does, but along the turf. Now Noman is going to go around the wicket to the left-handed Saad Ali. And that's nicely played by Saad. A diving effort by Saqlain Haider. Takes some sting off the ball, and he's going to chase it down, and the batsman will get 3 runs. It's a good effort by the veteran Saqlain. And now point has been dropped back. Asad Pathan has dropped to a backward point. In fact, they took 3 runs, so that's the right-hander on strike. So Asad comes to a deep square leg for Milind. There's also a deep mid-wicket and long on the onside. A loud appeal. Looks like he was trapped on the crease, but umpire Onkar seems to think otherwise. Let's look at this replay real quick. Yeah, definitely turned on that delivery. Pitched on middle. Turns and goes down the leg side. So good call. Or may have been just flicking the leg stump, so the decision remains with the umpire. At the end of 8, it's 54 for 2, the Kingsmen. Change of ends for Rushil Ugarkar. He had bowled 2 overs in his first spell, and now he's coming from the forest end to bowl to Milind Kumar. They're holding back Nosh Kenjige, so he's going to be bowling in the final 10 overs of the innings. Hasn't bowled yet in this innings. It's nicely played, and that could be a tight run if it was a direct hit. Milind was gone for all money. It was again that man, Nosh Kenjige at backward point. Diving pickup and throw all in one motion. Created so much confusion in the minds of the batsmen. And this is beautifully played. There was nothing Nosh could do on that one. A boundary to Milind. Waited on that one to ensure that he was getting it to the left of Noshtush Kenjige. Piercing that gap between backward point and third man to perfection. Milind Kumar is looking ominous. These are good signs for the Kingsmen. 100 runs are required, 101 to be precise, and 69 deliveries. It's very doable if these two stay on the crease for about 5 to 6 more overs. And that's a shortish delivery, and there's no one patrolling that part, so that's a long chase for the fielder at deep square, and he does very well. Shreyan Satish. His dad was just standing around us moments ago. He would be a proud man. Beautifully played by Milind. And that's a great diving effort. Saves a couple of runs. That's what you're going to need in games like these. It's going to be a tight contest by the look of it. These two have to set it up for Hammad Azam to come and go bang bang in the last 5 to 6 overs. But that does not mean these two are not capable of finishing it. Either of them stays till the end, they're going to see their side home. And that's leading edge, and Rushil, he has taken 2 big wickets. First Ramiz Raja, this time even bigger fish Milind Kumar. He was early into the shot, was a little casual, and Rushil seemed to signal that he might have used his fingers to put something on the ball, maybe a leg cutter, pitched and went away, and Milind seemed to be early in the shot, so he got a leading edge. And when you have a Noshtush Kenjige settling under the ball, the batsman should just start walking back to the pavilion. There's no chance he was going to drop it. We look at this again, and I'm going to request Hassan to get me a close-up of the wrist of Rushil. Yeah, he does signal that it was a leg cutter. Smiles, chuckles at Milind. That's what skill can do. You can change the complexion of a game by just a mere matter of seconds. There you will see how his wrist opens up. Fingers are pointing to fine leg. That means he's rolling his fingers on the ball, almost like a leg cutter. And that's going to slow the ball down, one thing. And second, after pitching, it's going to go away from the right-hander. And that's what it exactly did. Very subtle. So Milind was forced early into the stroke. He didn't pick that off the hand. And that created that leading edge. As you can see, the ball was angling into his pads, but then it straightened up to go to the off stump. And that's a huge, huge wicket. That's the big fish. I'd been saying that the Kingsmen need these two to bat deep, go into overs 14 and 15. But now, skipper Hammad Azam wouldn't have expected to walk out in the 9th over of the innings. And guess who has done the most damage? The youngest member of the squad, Rushil Ugarkar, minor league champion with the Dallas Mustangs, and now steps into the Houston Premier League and is making a statement. And again, that teasing length outside off stump. Hammad gets off the mark. That brings over number 9 to a close. Very interesting decision to bring back Rushil at this stage, and he picks up the wicket of Milind, so commendable captaincy for sure. 9 overs gone, 63 for 3. So finally, no surprises, Nosh Kenjige has come into the attack, bowling over number 10th. Once you've removed the likes of Milind Kumar and Ramiz Raja, you just need to tighten the noose, and there's no better men in US cricket to come and put the squeeze on in a situation like this than Nosh Kenjige. That's nicely worked by Saad for a couple of runs. Saad Ali's role becomes ever so important now in this innings, now that Milind Kumar has departed. He will have to take the burden on his shoulders to see this chase through. He's the set batsman. He's been in there since the start of the innings, batting on 29 of 20. And Nosh, on the other hand, knows that if he can remove Saad, he probably will have this game in the back pocket. Don't go by cliches, left arm, orthodox bowling to left-handed batsmen. Nosh is just as good to right-handers as he is to left-handers. Or the other way around. But he's not going to look to bowl in that arc. He's going to drift the ball across Saad Ali. And there's that wind also blowing that's assisting him with that intent. That's again very nicely played. Wristy. They'll just jog through for a single. The required rate is now over 9 and over. Quite couple of overs. Is that dilemma whether they go now or look to build a partnership, but the run rate is going to be crawling up, climbing up to 10 plus, 11, 12. Not going to be easy. And that's nicely played for a single. They look content with singles right now. 10 overs gone, 68 for 3. 93 is required of the final 10. And that's another big wicket. This is going downhill for the Kingsmen. They lost their opening game in the morning. And Obus Pinar has come into the attack. And the very first ball is a half tracker. And Hammad Azam, 9 out of 10 times he would deposit that into the bushes. But this time he finds the throat of long on. Oh boy. This is going bad to worse for the Kingsmen. It's an uphill task from this point. Only Saad Ali is the man who's been standing in the middle. He's been losing partners one after the other. And it looks like the new batsman is going to be Arir Ali. They still have Harmeet Singh, who could be a crucial peg in this puzzle. But they need to build partnerships while keeping up with the required rate. And that's been a struggle. They're losing wickets and the required rate keeps on climbing up. It indeed is Harmeet Singh. Hamad coming out in the 9th over, Harmeet in the 11th over. It's been a batting failure for them, and even in the first game they scored only 113 runs. The batting hasn't played to potential in these 2 games for them. But they can still turn this around if they can win this game, somehow build a partnership, take this deep. They need the rub of green to go their way. Or they could be out of the tournament already. Harmeet facing Obus Pinar. And this is hit by Harmeet and it's gone the distance. He seems to have come out with a lot of intent. Still 87 runs required in 58 deliveries. And maybe the time is now. They cannot afford to wait. The run rate is climbing up.
6 runs.
And that probably is the message from the Kingsmen dugout. The tournament is on the line. And again, Harmeet slashes this down the ground. Long on is going to keep it down to just a single. Man of the series from the recently concluded USA-Canada T20. Harmeet Singh made his debut for the Stars and Stripes. And if I may throw in the hat a definite name on the World Cup squad when it gets announced, highly probable to be on that squad. What's good for the Kingsmen is there are 2 left-handers in the middle, and the Stars have to bowl their spinners, so these 2 would develop a liking of the 2 spinners, Nosh and Obus, the 2 left-arm spinners. So that's the best possible combination you can have in the middle. And that was probably, there was some bat to it. It was turning into the stumps. Saad had stepped outside the line of off stump, but there was some sharp turn and also the angle assisting it. Yeah, that's touch and go. Maybe the impact was slightly outside the line of off stump. There was too much going on for umpire Brian to be confident. So over 11 comes to a close. 78 for 4 are the Kingsmen. 83 required in 54. Nosh is going to continue from the highway 290 end. Steady is Saad Ali. Hermeet, explosive. 8 of 3. An update from one of the other games that's going on. The Austin Aces took on Raiders. Austin's Aces scored 175 for 9 in their 20, and Raiders are reeling at 78 for 5, needing 98 and 9.4. So that's a bit of an upset. Mohammad Mohsin opened the batting for Aces, scoring 74 of 54. Well supported by Ali Sheikh. No surprises there. Ali Sheikh with a 56 of 39. Ali Sheikh is captaining the Austin Aces, and he's going to lead them to a big win in this Houston Premier League. By the look of it, not still done. 55 deliveries remaining for the Raiders. 95 to win. Shubham Ranjan is at the crease alongside Jesse Singh as Nosh continues to Hermeet, and this is nicely swept by Hermeet. Very fine, only going to be a single. 80 required now, 52. Saad Ali sweeps it, but it's straight down to square leg, who's patrolling quite a lot of real estate on that part of the field. Only a single. The only other man on the leg side is a deep mid wicket. And this is again tossed up, but it's way down the leg side. Smith Patel take a bow for saving 5 wides.
Wide ball.
Very interesting line of attack from Nosh. Almost the anti-cliche, because you want to stay away if you're a left arm orthodox bowling to left-handers. You want to stay away from that arc or from bowling to their pads, but he's actually targeting their pads. And then every once in a while he slides one wide, throws it up just to mix things a little bit. And that brings over number 12 to a close. The Kingsmen are 86 for 4. Scored. Another game that's going on between the Power Stars and Kingsmen. The Power Stars batting first scored 174. The Kingsmen X are 106 for 2 in 10 overs. Skipper Shayan Jangir leading from the front with 53 of 28. This is hit right towards a commentary box. Kelvin Savage is going to keep it down to just a single. Still 74 required. 53 balls, almost a required rate of 9.5. It's going to take once in a lifetime partnership from these two, given they've played a game in the morning which they lost. They're up against the anti in this one. The emotions are flowing. The camp isn't feeling too good. They have to turn the ship around and steer it. Not going to be easy against what's, in my opinion, the best bowling attack in the tournament, where you have the pace of Justin Dill, Calvin Savage, the spin of Obis Pinar, Nosh Kenjige, and they're backed by Rushil. Very strong bowling attack. Again, the short back of length. And they're going to look to come back for a second, but young Shreyan Satish was quick off the blocks and he keeps it down to a single. He's been electric in the field. Didn't get a chance to bat and hasn't been called upon to bowl, but he's contributing all right. Hermeet on 12, Saad on 36. And this is again very nicely played. This is in the gap. Shreyan is not going to cut that one off. A much needed boundary.
That's a boundary.
The problem with that plan of bowling back of length is when it works, it's very hard to get away. But when you get that back of length slightly wrong, slightly short, it invites the pull shot. I wonder if he's going to look to go a little fuller this time. Long off and long on, both station on the boundary. Obis Pinar at long on and Nosh, it seems, at long off. And this is again slightly full and hit straight down the ground, and that's 4 more. I said if he was going to go straight, would Saad look to take him downtown, and so he does. 2 back-to-back boundaries. Justin Dill, who was one of the pick of the bowlers, was the most economical bowler on display, is being taken apart by Saad Ali, who now moves on to, should be 40 in my opinion. The score hasn't been updated. Slower delivery, and Saad was very watchful. Sees it onto the bat and drives it to cover for a single. 13 overs gone. It does seem like there's some fixing up that needs to be done on the scorecard. We're gonna get you the updated score. There should be a boundary and a single coming after that. So that takes the score to 97 for 4. Saad Ali 45, Hermeet 13. Kingsmen are back in this, and we have quite a contest in our hands. 64 required of 42. We'll be right back. On Anwar, and inside out, and he goes long and handsome. That's gone for a 6. Saad Ali, we kept on saying that he's the batsman who's been there from the start. He's got his eye in, he has a measure of the pitch, he has faced every single bowler. He is the one who will have to take the Kingsmen home.
6 runs.
And it seems he's doing just that. 2 back-to-back boundaries of Justin Dill, and now Noman Anwar throwing the off spin to the left-handers. Hasn't worked so far. And now, smartly enough, just bunts it for a single. What a knock by Saad Ali. That's his 50. 33 deliveries it took him to get there. Now the nerves are gonna start creeping into the Stars ranks. Don't do anything stupid if you're the Kingsmen. And that's a good calling. Saad Ali was already halfway down the track. And Harmeet responded, so no harm done, just a single. 56 of 39, very doable. 8.6 and over. If these two stay on here for 2 more overs, the shoulders and heads are gonna start sulking if you're the Stars. 2 more runs. Harmeet, he is quick out of the blocks. I wonder if it was a good call to throw the ball to Noman. I can have my foot in my mouth if he picks up a wicket. Again, nicely played. Saad is looking invincible. Everything is now starting to hit the middle of the bat. All those miscues and mistimed shots are a thing in the past. And that's nicely played by Harmeet. This is smart cricket. A 6 and 2 in the first 2 balls. They had 8 runs and they've knocked the next 4 for singles. Easy 12 of this over. 6 overs remaining, 52 to get. We'll be right back. Going to quickly take a look at the bowlers. Justin Dill has bowled out. Rushil has only 1 over left. Nosh has 2 and Opus has 3. And Kelvin Savage has a couple more to go. So, given there's 6 overs to go, you would back Nosh to bowl out and Calvin to bowl out. That's 4. And maybe 2 from Opus Pinar. That should be your 6 overs. 4 overs of spin. Oh, and that's a slower delivery. I don't think there's anything to it. Just flicks the thigh pad. There seemed to be daylight between bat and ball. And that's exactly what Harmeet is suggesting. Yeah, definitely brushes the back thigh. If you're appealing for leg before, that's always going on top of the wickets. If you're appealing for a nick, there's daylight between bat and ball, but it was close to the bails. So if you're a Harmeet Singh, you have to watch out for that slower delivery from Kelvin, which he is going to throw in disguise every now and then. 52 of 35. And again, this one is angled across. It's not easy to be an umpire. The last ball, the fielding side was just grunted, and now it's the batsman. We'll try to get you this replay to see how close that was to the wide markers. The batsman was probably, you look at that strike of the stance of Harmeet. The front leg is opened up. This one is a definite wide.
Wide ball.
So there's a clear plan. He threw up that slower delivery in disguise, but the next two has gone wide, trying to aim those wide markers outside the off stump. Third man is inside the circle. There's a deep point. There's a cover inside and a sweeper cover and long off. So he's got protection on that offside. And now again he goes into the stumps. Yorker. Nosh Kenjige right in front of us. Does the cleanup. He's got 2 overs, Nosh. 2 crucial overs. But meanwhile, it's these 3 deliveries from Calvin, which are going to be super crucial in the context of this game. 50 required in 33. And again, this is full. And Nosh is going to put in the dive. And it seemed that Obus Pinar, he did stop the ball, but it just rolls and kisses the boundary rope. Probably the 2 best fielders you can get in the country, patrolling that onside boundary, and it was perfectly hit between those 2. As you see, Nosh converges and Obus dives, but the ball just kisses the boundary. So a welcome 4 there. This was a good over so far by Calvin. 46 required now of 32. Thank you, Sadiq. .59, Saad Ali. And he dances down the track. Misses it. I can tell you one thing. Any miss hit in this direction, Obus Pinar and Nosh Kenjige are not going to miss it. Fine leg is inside the circle. Third man is inside the circle. Haven't seen either of them, any of these players try that which we see so often, especially of the faster bowlers with those fielders inside the circle. Now Calvin Savage is going to go around the wicket. 2 more deliveries to go in this over. And this is definitely going to be a wide, and looks like Calvin is struggling. Might have landed awkwardly in his follow through, might have pulled up a muscle. This is going to be very crucial in the context of this game. Calvin has to bowl 1 more over after this, an over on which the result of this game might possibly hinge. Is he fully fit? Still looks to be walking gingerly. And this is again going to be a wide. That's likely 4th wide in this over. In fact, this 3rd one. He has a definite plan to stay away from that arc of the left-handers. He was hit for a boundary there by Saad. And then Saad attempted to come down the track and go in that same direction again. And Calvin decided to go around the wicket and keep it outside that arc and make him play on the offside. And this time again it's hit straight to Nosh. He threw this one back at the stumps, trying to outfox Saad, but he did well. He was ready to have a swing at it. So over number 15 has come to a close. If you're the Kingsmen, you should be feeling good. 43 of 5 should be relatively easy in the context of T20 cricket if you can keep your wickets in hand. We'll be right back after this little break. Nosh Kenjige is back in the attack, and this one is hit towards deep cow corner, and that's a big wicket. We kept on saying that Nosh would be a crucial peg in the puzzle as far as the Stars are concerned. He has got 2 overs to go, so he's likely bowling over number 16 and 18, and he has dispatched Saad Ali. He was looking to go big. Stock sweeps him and just couldn't clear that man. It looked like it was a half-hearted shot. I didn't see a very good flourish of the bat. I would be surprised if that ball would have carried all the way. So Saad departs, and that's going to bring Hassan Khan, who is pretty handy with the bat. Primarily plays as a bowler, but he can assist Harmeet in this partnership and get them closer to the finishing line. Only 43 runs were required of 30 balls. They could have afforded to take it a little more deeper. Maybe bat a couple more overs, look to get 15 odd runs. 3 overs, 25-ish. We saw in the first innings how Harmeet was used in the death overs. And just like that, now Nosh Kenjige has come to bowl at this stage of the innings. That's one skill that a lot of T20 spinners are developing, learning to bowl in the batting power play and also coming on to bowl in the death. Gone are the days when you would only rely on your fast bowlers to come and execute yorkers and slower ones. The batters have become so good that they are able to dig out the yorkers and glide it backward of point to bring out those helicopter shots, go down the ground. So the spinners are back in play and they're looking to bowl death overs. So Nosh is now going to bowl to Hassan Khan. Hassan is off the mark. Should be an easy single to bring Harmeet back on strike. Shreyan Satish again. How good has he been? Any youngsters watching, when you're rubbing your shoulders with the best in the country and you get these opportunities, don't lose heart if you're not involved with just the bat and ball. There are many ways to contribute, and Shreyan is leading by an example in the field. That's going to be umpire Onkar reckons that it was drifting away, but when it passed the tram lines, it was within reach of Harmeet. Maybe a tight call. 42 of 27. In the block hole goes Nosh, just a single. They may come back for second. There's a pick up and throw, but the throw was on the bounce, and Hassan is safely back for the second. Stumps were shattered, but he was back in. 40 of 26, only 3 runs have come in this over. Harmeet was always going back for the second. Yeah, he's well in. He's well in. No doubt whatsoever. Back live. And this is nicely played by Harmeet. One bounce to the same fielder. But this time, there was so much ping on that ball that they didn't have time to go back for the second. Last ball of this over coming up. Only 4 runs of this over and the wicket of Saad Ali. And this is dispatch and it's gone the distance. Hassan Khan take a bow. Where did that come from? I said only 4 runs had come off this over. It was a good over so far, but it turns into a 10-run over. What a hit by Hassan. That makes the equation a lot more easier. 33 of 24. Let's look at this. Rushil is back into the attack. He's been the pick of the bowlers. Picked up the wickets of Milind Kumar and Ramiz Raja. He's going to be bowling out. And it should be Calvin Savage to bowl 1 of the overs. And then Nosh Kenjige. That should be 3 overs. And then they might have to get 1 out of Obus Pinar. As this is hit down the ground for a single. 32 now of 23 is the equation. Harmeet Singh holds the key. Hassan, who pulled the bunny out of the hat, dispatching Nosh Kenjige for a 6. He's batting on 7 of 2. And he will need to keep Harmeet company if the Kingsmen have to avoid a surprise and early elimination. That loud thump was not from the ground. That was umpire Owen Brown tripping right next to me. He has just come back from finishing duties with the game on PV6. Obi, what was the result of that game? I'll get you that update in just a second. So 32 required on 20 of 22 now. Rushil coming in from the forest end to Hassan Khan. And he comes down the track, and that's gone for a 6 as well. Hassan Khan is putting the finishing touches to this innings. 6 to Nosh Kenjigi, and now 6 to Rushil. He has faced only 4 deliveries, and he has had 2 sixes. Rushil, what you need to do is stay away from that half volley length. You either need to go full and straight on the base of the stumps or pull it back off the length at that hard length. Try to hit the bat maker's label, but you cannot afford to be in that half volley region. .26 required now of 21. The Kingsmen are knocking. They need a wicket, the Stars. And he gets back in the crease, uses the depth of the crease and plays it beautifully straight down the ground. 4 more. This game is running away from the Stars. And it's the most unlikely of heroes with the bat, Hassan Khan. 22 required of 20 now. You might want to see one of the seniors walk up to the young man. He's been taken for a 6 and a 4. Maybe change of plans, go around the wicket, try and aim that wide marker on the offside, and Hassan comes down the track again, this time straight to Obus Pinar. Just a single. 21 of 19. When Milind Kumar got out and then in quick succession Hammad Azam departed, not many people would have given the Kingsmen a chance to make a comeback in this game. And this is just outside the off stump. Harmeet is beaten, and that closes the over. Rushil has to keep his head high. He has bowled a good spell, 35 for 2 of 4. Last 3 overs coming up, 21 required. And Nosh resumes over number 18, and that's 4 more. This time again off the bat of Hassan Khan. He's cruising. He's batting on 22 of 7. (17 of 17 required now. This is gonna open up this group, because Raiders, they beat the Kingsmen in the morning fixture. Stars had won their game against Austin Aces. Now Kingsmen are looking like they would get home unless there is another twist in the tail, and then Aces have beat the Raiders. So at the end of day 1, all 4 teams are going to be with a win each. Semi-final qualification could get very interesting in this pool, and this is dispatched by Harmeet Singh straight to the fielder. Harmeet Singh, just as I said, could there be another twist in the tail? Only 16 runs were required of 16 deliveries. They could have afforded to just knock it around for singles and get home. That is a big wicket. Stars would feel they're back in this game now. Wide of the crease, Hermeet looks to pick that gap, but he picks only that fielder at deep cow corner. Straight down his lap. And he's telling Hassan that he was looking to go a little straighter than what he got it. Probably dragged by the turn on the drift. But that's that for Hermeet. The new batsman coming out, it looks like is Waqas Salim. We'll confirm that in just a second. Yeah, that is Waqas. He is pretty handy with the bat himself. And that's nicely bowled by Nosh. Lot of drift in the air and then turns away. Not gonna be easy to close this game for new batsmen coming in. And again, that's that tight ring of fielders. Hammad Azam knows how to tighten the noose. In fact, Smith Patel, on behalf of the Stars, knows how to tighten the noose. He's adjusting those fielders on the offside. 16 of 13 required. Can they afford to see out Nosh? They definitely can. Another dot ball. 16 of the final 2 overs. We'll be right back. This is getting pretty interesting. Kevin Savage is going to be bowling out. Nosh Kanjiga has bowled out, so it seems it's going to be Obus Pinar to bowl the final over. I don't see them going to Nauman Anwar. Calvin Savage is bowling the penultimate over. It would have to be Obus Pinar to bowl the final over. Here is Calvin Savage, 16 required, 12 balls. And this is pulled by Hassan. It's going to the boundary. The fielder is going to come across. And he keeps it down to just a single. And that's going to bring Waqas Salim on strike. 15 required of 11. Third man is inside the circle. So is backward point. There is a sweeper cover, which is Nosh. No surprises. He's going to be one of the hot positions. There's cover inside the circle and long off. Obus Pinar at long off. Fine leg is inside the circle. There's a deep square, deep cow corner, and long on. Kelvin to Waqas, and Waqas misses it, and that's a great take by Smith Patel. How good has he been behind the stumps? He would have saved close to 10 byes all by himself. My goodness, how this game has fluctuated. Stars got off to a flyer when they batted. Then the Kingsmen spinners came back and tightened the noose. Look at this replay. Big inside edge. As a keeper, you're not supposed to stop those. when there's a Chinese cut with fine leg inside the 30 yards that's supposed to go for a 4. Smith Patel. Kelvin again. And this was wide and that's driven. Cover's not gonna get there. Obus Pinar comes around. A good throw, but Hassan Khan gets back for a second. These are crucial runs they're saving. Obus Pinar is fielding at long off. When you beat the fielder at short extra cover by a matter of few inches, your long off is not supposed to run around and cut it. Smith Patel saved a boundary in the last delivery, and this time it was Obus Pinar who came charging and covered up almost 25 yards. "13 required of 9. Calvin Savage. Short and wide, and that's hit down the ground, and that's gonna go over the top. Obus Pinar can only watch it sail. Calvin Savage tried to bowl that short delivery into the pitch, but he didn't take the pace off. Although it's still not easy to go down the ground. How can you generate so much pace off the back foot? But Waqas Salim did. 7 required of 8. It's turned again this game. And that's on to his pads. You don't want to bowl there. This is going to go for a 4. The fielder puts in a diving effort and keeps it down to just 2. Stars have done everything in the field they could. They've dived around, they've saved boundaries, they've held on to their catches. It's just been the supporting cast to Saad Ali. Everyone has come and played little cameos. None better than Hassan Khan, number 16 on your screen, 24 of 9, 2 sixes. And then Waqas Salim with 10 of 7. Last ball of the over coming up. Short delivery and it's pulled to that backward square leg fielder. He's been on the hot seat. Just a single. So that brings the penultimate over to a close. Only 1 over to go. 4 runs required. And it's going to be that man, Obus Pinar. I don't think they'll be bowling any of the youngsters, Shobi Khan or Shreyan Satish, who haven't bowled in this innings so far. It's going to be Obus. There are no second opinions to that. What a game this has been. This had to be my pick amongst one of the top games in the group stage. 2 absolute powerhouses. Houston Stars, who have won the Houston Premier League on 2 occasions. And Kingsmen, who haven't won the Houston Premier League yet, but have won everything else there is out there to win in competitive USA cricket. Final over of the innings coming up. They've got a lot of fielders inside the circle. It looks like they don't want to give single to Obus Pinar. From what I see, there's long on, there's long off, and there's a sweeper cover, and there's a deep mid wicket. Those 4 fielders are on the fence, and there are 5 fielders inside the circle. And that's going to be a dot ball. Smith Patel with a loud appeal. There's nothing to it. Umpire Brian Kane. So 4 required of 5. Another dot ball, and the pressure is going to start creeping in. Short delivery, and that was very quick in the air. It's almost like Obus is a seamer. He's bowling it seam up and really firing it in short into the pitch. And you can do that when you have a keeper like Smith Patel. 4 deliveries remaining, 4 runs to win. And this is tossed up, and it's nicely played off the back foot. but it's only going to be a single. 3 of 3 needed. That brings Hassan Khan on strike. From what little I've seen of Hassan, he's not looking to just gently nudge this for a single. He's looking to finish this game. Three of 3. Saklan Heather at short third. Justin Dill is fielding at backward point. In fact, he's being sent to the boundary. So they've got those 2 men for the cut shot. There's a sweeper cover, extra cover, and long off. Mid-on is inside the circle. There's a deep cow corner. Square leg and fine leg are also inside the circle. And he was trying to go big onto the leg side. 2 balls, 3 required. This is nerve-wracking. If you're a fan, if you are a player on either side, families, friends, wives, whoever's watching, this is nail-biting stuff. And what an over Spinar has bowled. Just a single conceded so far in 4 deliveries, and this one is crashed, and it's gonna go. They have to come back for a second. The throw is coming into the bowling end. It was hit just wide of Noman Anwar at short extra cover. The fielder at sweeper cover did pretty well to come and cut it off. So the scores are tied now as we have it. 1 ball to go, 1 run to win. If this game is tied, there's going to be a super over. So, in the regulation 40 overs, the Stars cannot win. They can take this to a super over. Kingsmen can. Over Spinar. A game of cat and mouse. He was looking to see if Hassan is looking to charge. Even mid-off is inside the circle. Here comes Obis for the last delivery of the game. Drops it short and they're running. They're coming through and that's got to be a run out. We are going in the super over. We are going to have a super over. Hassan Khan just nudges it to short third. Smith Patel take a bow. He had just adjusted those fielders knowing exactly what might happen. He read the script. As we are going to look at this replay. Again, Opus Pinar fires in that ball. Back of length. Little fast. And Justin Dill, I think, or was it Saklan Heather? Yeah, he's out by quite some distance. Puts in the dive, but that throw was right on the top of the bails. That's very, very good work by the Stars. Yeah, it looks like the fielder is number 771. Yeah, he's long gone. There's no doubt whatsoever. Look at the batting card. The umpires are working out the regulations for the super over. So the news is we're going to be right back in just a little bit as the umpires are working out the details for the super over. The 2 teams should be taking the field pretty soon. Kingsmen 1 also finished their innings at 160, and so did the Stars. Came down to that last ball. A run out was affected. So this is the story. We're back with the super over. Now the Kingsmen will get to bat first in the super over. The Stars are bowling, and then the Stars would come out and chase. I have information of the first two batsmen which have been allocated by the Kingsmen. It's Harmeet Singh and Hassan Khan. And there's no surprise based on that last over which Obaspinar bowled. He's going to come in and bowl this super over. There we go. Over spinner to Hassan Khan, and he goes long and handsome. That's landing outside the boundary markers by at least 10 meters. What a start to the super over. This is the third six to my recollection which Hassan Khan has hit. Mind you, he was the one who was facing that final ball. So 2 balls, 2 sixes, and this one is going to go for a single. So Kingsmen have 13 in 3 deliveries, 6, 6 and 1. If you're the Stars, you have to keep trust in your decision. Obaspinar bowled a brilliant last over. It does not matter, he's gone for those 2 sixes. You still have to keep believing, try and restrict them from this point onwards and come and chase it down. And this one is a beautiful delivery. Again, deceived in the air. Harmeet was looking to go inside out. 13 of 4 deliveries scored. Still 2 more balls to come. Can they find the boundary one more time? Can they breach the 20 mark? This one is hit straight to that man at deep mid wicket. Only a single, so the score is up to 14. My guess is as good as yours. Who's gonna come out for the Stars? Maybe Noman Anwar. There's no Andres Goss playing in this game. They would wish they could have him back for the super over. And that's again hit straight down the ground by Hassan, the fielder at long on. He should have taken it. They are going to rue that miss. It went for a 4. It didn't go all the way. He had it covered. 1 bounce and 4. So the Stars are going to be chasing 19 runs when they come out to bat in that super over. There's some confusion if it's a boundary or a 6. We can pull up the replay and show you exactly what happened there. High and handsome. Definitely lands inside the fence. There's no doubt whatsoever. But it was catchable for sure. Should have been taken. So, Hassan Khan, the unlikely hero who kept Kingsmen in the game, has now hit 18 runs in the super over. 2 sixes and a 4. to Obaspinar. And when the Stars come out to bat, they're going to need 19 of 6. Alright, folks, so what we know is Ziaul Haq is going to be bowling that super over for the Kingsmen. Still don't have a measure of who the batters are going to be for the Kingsmen. I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be Noman Anwar. Whether Smith Patel comes out or someone like Obaspinar is sent ahead of Smith remains to be seen. But the Kingsmen should be feeling pretty good about defending 19 runs in this over. Just got to pick a plan and bowl to your field and you should be fine. But if you are the Stars batters, someone like a Noman Anwar, you want to do exactly what Hassan Khan did. The first couple of balls in a super over have got to go the distance. If you miss out and get a single or two, then the next 4 balls, getting about 18 of them, is near impossible. It's going to get pretty difficult. The pressure starts getting to you. Fielders start closing in. So you have to hit that first ball to the boundary. There's no second ways. And yeah, like I suspected, Obaspinar is going to join Noman Anwar. So no surprises there. The 2 biggest hitters in the ranks, especially in the absence of Andres Goss. This ball could be decisive if this doesn't go for a 6. The last ball would be a foregone conclusion. Ziaul Haq to Kelvin Savage. That wasn't looking like an attempt to hit a 6. So there's only one ball to go. 13 required of the last ball. If you don't bowl a no ball or a wide, you're fine. Ziaul Haq. And this is taken down the ground, but it's only going to be a single, so that concludes this game. And the Kingsmen stand tall and win the super over. So that registers them on the table. It has to be Hassan Khan for his gallant batting and bowling who kept the Kingsmen in the hunt. Hit 2 sixes in that super over. The first 2 balls went for 6s, and then the final delivery went for a 4. Now we're gonna quickly look at some statistics. The Stars bowling stats. Justin Dill was the most economical. 20 of his 4. Rushil picked up 2 crucial wickets. Kelvin Savage was a little expensive, and so was Noman Anwar, but Nosh Kenjige was the one who pulled them back in the game, and then Obus Pinar with that great final over brought the game to a tie. Bowling stats for the Kingsmen. Ziaul Haq, 33 of his 4. Hammad Azam was pretty good with the new ball. Huzaifa Ahmed expensive in his only over. Hassan Khan pretty economical, 28, and then Harmeet Singh was very good as well. Ramiz Raja 10, Saad Ali and Milind Kumar stitched that partnership that kept Kingsmen in the game, and then Harmeet Singh and Hassan Khan with the finishing touches. Well supported by Waqas Salim. Kingsmen ended on 160 for 7, and then it was the Stars batting who batted first. Smith Patel, top scorer with 57, and there was Asad Khan Pathan, 25 over Pinar, 21, and then Kelvin Savage was the one who got them over the line to that 160 total, which was a par score. So that ends the game, and now we're going to look at that all-important table. This match hasn't been close yet, but when it does, you will see that all teams in Group A have played 2 games, and they've all won a game each. So Group A is the group of sudden death. Any team can qualify to the semifinals, or 4 teams have a chance to qualify. When we come to Group B, Kingsmen X will think they have a foot in the semifinals, and so would the Hurricanes based on their positive net run rate. And then the Power Stars, they would look to win with a big margin tomorrow. The HCL Blasters would think they're out of the tournament. So that's the story at the end of day 1. What a day it's been. A lot of runs have been scored. It's been exciting cricket. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the next round of games. This is Munir Majid and Hassan Rafi signing off from the commentary booth. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.